The time is now 6:17, and we'll call to order the meeting of the Brushy Creek Regional Utility Authority. We'll go ahead and do our roll call.
President Thompson,
Present.
Vice President Duffy, Secretary Flores,
Here.
Director Anderson, Director Montgomery, here, Director Kirkland.
All right, thank you. Now for citizen comment and communication. Any citizen wishing to speak during citizen communication regarding an item on or off the agenda may do so after completing the required registration card. Are there any comments tonight? All right, thank you. 4A, consider approval of the BCRUA meeting minutes from August 28, 2024. This is an action item.
I move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. Item 5A, General Manager update regarding the BCRUA capital projects. I'll turn it over to you, Sam.
Good evening, President and Board. Tonight, Jason, Bobble, and I are going to tag team the update to y'all. But before we do that, I want to take 2 seconds and introduce our newest member to the BCRUA family, Jennifer Baumeister. She's our admin support specialist, and she actually volunteered to come to the meeting tonight, which I was very happy she did that. And with that, I would turn it over to Jason, or to get it started.
Okay. Glad to be here with you guys today. I'm Jason Bible with Walker Partners. We'll be providing updates on the Phase 2 raw water delivery system, the Phase 1D water treatment plant expansion, the underwater pipeline replacement, delivery points, Phase 1 and 2, and then Phase 2A water treatment plant expansion design.
So this is the tag team part. I get to do one slide. It's called the schedule and contract status slide. And it's similar to what we've done in the past, but we changed it up a little bit. But anyway, this project, as y'all probably know, started in June 22nd, 2022. That NTP stands for Notice to Proceed. The substantial completion in the contract is February 16th, 2027. The final completion in the contract is April 17th, 2027. The calendar days, they're 800 days out of 1,700 days, which is about 47%. And according to pay applications, or how much been invoiced of the $224 million contract, they've invoiced $113.8 million, which is about 51%. So they're kind of going together, which is a good thing, that we're not 50% through the project and 75% through the pay apps. And then as far as the schedule goes, they are a little behind schedule, and to the extent that because they've fallen behind schedule for 2 schedule reports in a row for greater than 30 days, they have to prepare what's called a recovery schedule. And it's not uncommon to be done in a construction contract of this size. And that schedule, they're working on that schedule. We've had good reports from them on that, and it's due October 31st. So I wanted to let y'all know that. And then lastly, change orders. We've only had one change order for $237,000, $237,172, and just doing the math, that's just a little under. That's just a tiny bit over 0.1%. So it's a small amount, and that's my part.
Okay, I'll take it from there. So lots of different facets on the Phase 2 raw water delivery system. On the underground portion here, the contractor is currently working on lining the gravity tunnel to the intake back to the suction chamber. They're about 6,600 linear feet in of 8,900 linear feet. So that's about 9,300 cubic yards of concrete that they've done. The pictures here, you can see the finished concrete tunnel liner on the picture on the left, and then on the right, you can see the tunnel forms that they use to form that concrete. On the top side and also in the suction chamber, you can see this is on the left, there's the model description showing that suction chamber, how the water flows up through the pump shafts and the main shaft to the Cedar Park water plant. The picture in the middle is where they have, it's the top of the suction chamber where they actually use raised boring to basically create these big 7-foot diameter shafts that will have a casing pipe installed. And then the picture to the right is the raised boring rig that they use to basically raise that rotating head and excavate those shafts. This is actually a picture of one of the pump casing pipes installed in one of those large 7-foot shafts there. And the picture to the right is a picture of the steel turning vane that basically funnels the water and kind of directs the water straight up through the pump casing into the pump, so that we've got good laminar flow. We don't exhibit any vortices on that pump. That's a pretty cool structure. It's kind of hard to tell from here, but it's kind of angled because of the top of the suction chamber, and you can see the studs there that help hold the concrete and form work once they do the concrete lining on the suction chamber. So upcoming work, we'll complete the intake tunnel concrete liner, complete the raised bores. Currently, they've done 2 of the raised bores and installed the casing. They still have 4 more pump casings and then the discharge shaft to do as well. Then they'll complete the tie-in at Trails End. Picture in the middle is a drone shot from Trails End perspective, looking back towards the lake. You can't see the pump station, which would be just to the left of where the picture is taken, but you can see the existing raw water intake barge with the arrow there, and then the Trails End shaft there in the middle. They'll complete that tie-in at Trails End. They'll place the suction chamber concrete liner, and then once they get that concrete liner done, they can move up top and start the pump station work. I forgot to take the demobilize the raw water intake barge off this slide, but that was if the the lake levels got to a certain point, but we're currently sitting at about 639. That's really not in the picture right now. On the Phase 1D water plant expansion, that notice to proceed was in May of 2023. They're about 85% done on the construction schedule. They're about 3 months behind right now. We think that we'll begin startup and commissioning here in February and complete that project in the spring. Contract status, that's a $16.8 million project. We've had 1 change order for $190,000, 0 days, and they've invoiced about 47% of that contract. Doing a really good job they kind of got a late start, but they're really making some good headway. The picture on the right is the thickener basin that they've just recently finished the pours for, and then they're currently working on the raw water tank piping here, kind of on the west side of the plant. And this is large 72-inch diameter pipe. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see a truck up here. This is a big diameter pipe that will basically stick up into those raw water head tanks, and tanks will be built on top of those. Upcoming work, they'll complete the basin, all the installation of all the equipment, the thickener, and then these raw water head tanks. On the underwater pipeline replacement, that project's really been done for several months now. They did achieve substantial completion on time. That was a $6.7 million contract. We had 2 change orders for a $289,000 credit. We've invoiced pretty much everything. We're holding back some retainage. There was an issue with an actuator that they installed on a raw water valve that they've got to go in and repair here sometime in November, December time range. And so we're holding back that retainage until they make that repair. But other than that, they've completely demobilized all their marine equipment from the Trails End road site, as you can see to the right. And then this, the picture in the middle is a new vacuum breaker that we added along Trails End Road. Delivery points, we've got 2 phases. Phase 1 was issued NTP back in November 2023. They are very late at this point. There's been some issues with them originally getting going, and then there's been some communication issues that we've been trying to work out. We estimate they're going to complete that project in December now. It's really not that big of an issue, but it's something we're tracking. That contract had a value of $448,000. There's no change orders at this point, and they've only invoiced $54,000, but they've done a lot more work than what they've invoiced for. The picture to the right is a piece of the work at along Ronald Reagan that they're currently working on. I didn't get an updated picture, but they're actually working on it right now, so it won't look that much different, but just a little bit different. On the Phase 2 project, that's a lot of electrical and instrumentation controls, improvements to several of the Leander delivery points. That project was issued notice to proceed this summer. We expect substantial completion in April, and then final completion in May. That was a contract value of about $612,000. There's no invoices, no change orders at this point. But they are proceeding in a much more timely manner on this project as they were in the Phase 1 project. On the Phase 2 water treatment plant expansion, we've just wrapped up 60% design on that project. That's into BCRUA for review. We're proceeding on with 90% currently. Just to kind of refresh everybody's memory, that's mainly being split between Leander and Round Rock, about almost 50-50, but that'll raise the overall treatment plant capacity to just over 64 million gallons per day. We expect to move into final design and permitting here in March or in May, or complete design in May. We'll move into permitting in March, and we expect bid and award sometime this summer. And then we'll move into construction and expect substantial completion in May 2027, about the same time that Phase 2 will wrap up. If y'all have any questions, let me know.
Thank you for the update. Any questions or comments?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Item 6A, consider a resolution by the Board of Directors of the Brushy Creek Regional Utility Authority, Inc., authorizing the issuance of Brushy Creek Regional Utility Authority, Inc., City of Round Rock, Texas contract revenue bonds, Brushy Creek Regional Water Treatment and Distribution Project, Series 2024, establishing the procedures for selling and delivering the bonds, and resolving other matters incident and related to issuance, payment, security, sale, and delivery of such bonds.
So this item is, as the agenda wording describes, it's and it's one of 2 items on the agenda tonight for almost the final activity for the takedown, 2 takedowns, one from Round Rock and one from Leander for Swift money. The first up tonight is going to be Round Rocks, and I think Gary Kimball from Specialized Public Finance is going to be making that presentation, and possibly with Richard Donahue. See?
I think Richard will probably come up if there are any legal questions,
Okay.
But I'm going to cover basically what the item entails tonight, which is essentially approving the resolution which would allow us to deliver bonds to the Texas Water Development Board, to the SWIFT program, on behalf of, in this case, item 6A, the City of Round Rock, be $31.5 million. 25-year term. Very pleased to report that when the Water Board went to market to sell their bonds, we were at a low point for the past 9 months. Rates have since shot up pretty dramatically in the last 5 weeks. So not only does the SWIFT program confer an 18% benefit to what rates prevail in the open market, but we've seen rates go up. So we've got kind of a dual benefit. We ran an analysis today to show, where we would have ended up if we had not gone to the SWIFT program and had gone to the open market with Round Rock's AAA. That rate would be 4.28%. We are locking in tonight, assuming you approve the item, 3.12%. So 116 basis point benefit overall. About half of that is a result of the Water Board subsidy. The other half is a result of good timing on our part. Really just here to, wholeheartedly recommend that you approve this item. In dollar terms, that difference between the 312 that we're proposing tonight and the 428 that would be market today is $7.2 million to the good in terms of total interest over the 25-year term. So I would be happy to answer any questions anyone might have, but certainly would recommend it for approval.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? All right, this is an action item.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Item 6B, consider a resolution by the Board of Directors of the Brushy Creek Regional Utility Authority, Inc., authorizing the issuance of Brushy Creek Regional Utility Authority, Inc., City of Leander, Texas Contract Revenue Bonds, Brushy Creek Regional Water Treatment and Distribution Project, Series 2024, establishing the procedures for selling and delivering the bonds and resolving other matters incident and related to issuance, payment, security, sale, and delivery of such bonds.
Thank you. And the same comments would really apply to the Leander piece, but there are some different numbers. The Leander piece is $39.09 million.
Okay.
The same interest rate was locked in for that deal at 3.12% by the Water Board for the Leander portion, but the market comparison would be slightly different. Round Rock enjoys a AAA on its own. Leander is a AA. And so the comparison would have their rate, if we sold today, not going to the Water Development Board, at a 445. So an even bigger benefit by going through the Water Development Board SWIFT program. In dollar terms, almost $10 million to the good over the 25-year term. Otherwise, all the same comments and would highly recommend your approval.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, I'll make a motion to approve 6B.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Item 6C, consider a resolution authorizing the board president to execute supplemental contract number 2 with Walker Partners for the BCRUA Planning Level Evaluation Phase 2 Water Treatment Plant Expansion Project.
This is basically an additional services contract with Walker Partners for the engineering on Phase 2A, and it's the result of really the 60% plans that, it's been kind of a fast-track design, and so we weren't surprised that we identified some additional work that needed to be done. In this case, there's a whole lot of SCADA work that has to actually be done at the treatment plant because we learned a lot about what we don't have there to connect to the new treatment plant we're building. And then there's we have to do a drainage study for the Atlas 14 program, which wasn't in place when that plant was originally designed. But anyway, this additional services is $238,042, and it's allocated in the same manner as the rest of the design for the project to the two cities.
Excellent, thank you. Are there any questions or comments? All right, item 6C, it's an action item.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. Item 6D, consider a resolution authorizing the board president to execute an engagement letter with the Allensworth Law Firm.
This one is a fairly routine engagement for outside counsel for some of the Phase 2 work. We actually executed a smaller contract a few weeks ago that the general manager, myself, had signed, but we thought it would be best if we brought a little longer-term engagement letter to y'all this evening. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, if there are no questions, I'll make a motion to approve 6D.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. 7A is executive session. Consider an executive session as authorized by 551.071 of the Government Code related to legal issues concerning the construction contract for the Phase 2 raw water delivery project. The time is now 6:38, and we will adjourn into executive session. All right. We are back from executive session at 7:13. And now we'll move to item 8, our director closing comments. And we'll start with Vice President Duffy.
Is it on? Okay. Thank you for everyone's time, and welcome Hilda to the board, and welcome Jennifer. She left. And good to have you, Amy and Carly, helping us out. So thank you.
Excellent. Secretary Flores.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for all you do.
All right. Director Kirkland.
Thank you. Be safe going home.
And Director Montgomery. Welcome.
Thank you, and good night, everyone.
All right. Well, that's all we have. I'd like to say good night, and we are adjourned at 7:14.